The false card you have your past is the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so this is really heavily work focused. I'm seeing this right away. There's a lot of pentacles here, and it just feels very, very work to me. And I think that's what a lot of this reading is going to be about. So just first of all, I just want to say that just so that you know. I'm seeing some work that's not all that satisfying to you, actually. A bit of work dissatisfaction. I think you were determined. I think you wanted to get out of that. You felt like that and you were like, no, I want to get out. I want to work my way out of that. And I think for a lot of last year, and maybe even the year before that, you're working and all that, but I think your main focus was a little bit more on relationships. You're good at your work, you do your work, but relationships were your main focus, I think. And I think when it came to your work for a long time, you had this kind of, oh no, my foot's out the door, 1 foot out the door. That's what I'm getting, 1 foot out the door. That's the feeling you had. It was like, yes, I'm at work and all that, but I'm not, my heart's not really here. It's like, well, I'm doing this job, but my heart's not really there. It's not really what I want to do. And I think when you're in this relationship you're in, this last relationship you had, I think you might have had your eye on moving, or you were thinking about moving or something like that. And I think that was because of this relationship. You might have been thinking, oh, I'll move in with them, or I'll move away with them. Not move in with them, because you would have had to move away from your job to do this moving thing with them. So it might be that they were long distance, or it might just be that you were planning on moving with them. But that's what you had your mind on. It was like, well, I'm moving anyway. That's the kind of thing I'm getting. So that was kind of on your mind. And then I think you got out of that relationship, and then all you had was your work, really, or you had other things, but it was really like, okay, now I'm focusing on my work, and I'm kind of realizing this isn't really what I want. Now that I've kind of woken up, I can see this really clearly now. That's the kind of thing I'm seeing. So I think you just decided to take charge. You said, no, I'm going to take charge. I'm going to move out of this. I'm going to do something I really, really want to do, something I really love. And I think that might be what you're planning right now. I think you might still be in this job maybe, but you're planning to get out of that. Lots and lots of independence. There's lots of independence around you. So you might be doing something on your own. So yeah, I think also when you woke up, when you kind of focused more on your work again, I think you realized how many people you were actually carrying, how many people you were doing things for that you shouldn't be doing things for. There's that as well. And so I think you were like, no, it's time. I'm going to plan my escape. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. Because you're putting up with a lot in this relationship as well. Things you shouldn't have been, and that ended. You're putting up with a lot from everywhere, actually. But then I think you just said, no more putting up. No more putting up with people. No more putting up with everyone kind of throwing everything at me. I'm going to make my escape. I'm going to be in charge of myself and what I want to do. And yeah, very, very determined. And I think you are going to do this. If you're very, very determined, I think you'll do it, because you are. If you're determined to do something, you usually do it. That's what I'm seeing. So, yeah, so you've left one big horrible thing, which is this relationship. And now I think you're planning on the next escape. But it's really not about, I want to get out of this. It's more about, I want to get into this. And I think that's the best way to be. If you make a decision, it really should be about something positive. If you make a positive decision, so if you, instead of saying, I don't want to do this, so I'm getting out, if you make it more about, okay, I know what I want to do, I'm going to find my way toward that thing, and getting out of this is going to be a consequence of doing the new thing. That's a really good way to make decisions. Is it a positive decision or is it a negative one? So yeah, anyway, that's just a side thing. But yeah, that's what you're doing. Okay, so the next card you have for your past is the King of Wands. I shouldn't just say that's what you were doing. I should say, well, if that resonates with you, it might not be what you're doing. I'm so arrogant, so I don't mean to be. Okay, so yeah, just have a look at this king. Look at this king. You know, he obviously he's a king of wands, so he's the king of movement. He does things. He's fire, and it's like he's ready to go. He wants to go, but he's sitting there, and he's just planning. He has to plan before he does things. And you know, that's what he's doing, because if you look just behind his head, there's this lizard, and it's kind of turning around in circles. And because it's behind his head, that's where it is. To me, that represents your mind turning around, thinking about what you're going to do before you actually get up and do it, planning, thinking carefully. So that's the stage you're at. There's a lot of optimism here as well. I don't think you were there yet, and I don't think you knew exactly where you were going to go or how you were going to do what you wanted, but you knew you wanted to be somewhere else, and you knew you wanted to be somewhere better, and you had something in mind. You just had to kind of work out how you're going to do that. So that's what this is. And it feels like you had so many people in charge of you. You know, some of them were your boss, so that they had to be in charge of you, but some of them were indirectly in charge. I think this relationship person was indirectly in charge in some way, and you had people who shouldn't have been in charge, thought they were in charge of you, but now you're going to be in charge. You're going to take the lead here, so that's really good. The other thing is, you know, there are all these different lizards on this card. You know, they're behind his head, and they're all in that kind of on the back of his throne and all that. There's also one in front of him, just right at the bottom. There's a lizard there. So, okay, how do I say this? Okay, it's like someone keeps on trying to reappear in your life. They keep on coming back again. And whoever this is, it looks like they've got a bit of an ego, actually. And the King of Wands has a bit of an ego. He can be a bit of a player. So, yeah, this person thinks they're special. They think they're magical. They think they're magical. That's the word, magical. And they think they can just appear in a puff of smoke like magic. And you'll say, oh, aren't you wonderful? I'll take you back. You're fantastic. I'll have you. That's what they think. That's what they think everyone will think of them. Very, very egotistical. And I'll show you how I'm seeing this. And I saw a similar thing in an Aries reading a while ago. So, in the Renaissance times, in that time, in the time of the Renaissance, I should say, which is what the illustrations on these cards are modelled on. They're modelled on that time with all the costumes and everything. And so in those times, people used to think lizards were magical. And, you know, you see them in the Wands cards all the time because they're fire cards and they're associated with fire. Because in those days, people used to store their wood for their fires outside, like they do today sometimes in some places. And so they'd store these logs outside, these logs of wood. And, you know, the lizards would go and live in there. In winter, they go hibernate in there, or in summer, or whenever, anytime they'd go live in there. Summer, winter, it doesn't matter. They just go and house themselves in these logs of wood. And then, you know, in wintertime, they'd come and put the logs on the fire, and, you know, fire and smoke would come out. And then, of course, the lizards had come out because it was too hot. And it looked like they were coming out of the smoke and the fire, kind of magically appearing. And so people thought they were magical. They thought they were magical creatures that suddenly appeared out of the flames. It was all very exciting. So that's how this person sees themselves. Magical. I'm just going to appear like a lizard in front of you, magically. And but maybe they're like a lizard. Maybe you don't want them because of that. But yeah, you know, you might actually find that you go somewhere and they just kind of happen to be there. You know, like magic, they just appear. So just be aware of that. Just be aware of them kind of popping up somewhere. Because they think that you want them. They think that you can't resist them. They think that, you know, that they're so special that you couldn't possibly not want them. Okay, so the last card you have your past is the Six of Cups. Okay, so this can be about reunions. It's a really innocent card, very innocent. It's about children, it's about nostalgia, all that kind of thing. I think this person in the King of Wands, they're definitely interested in you. They want to reunite with you, so that tells me that you've had some kind of relationship with them before. I'm not sure how serious it was, but there's love there. But this is a platonic card, so that shows me that you're not interested in them in that way. It's definitely what they want, and they've got this ego, so they think they can just get whatever they want, but it's not what you want. So yeah, it's definitely not what you want. I'm seeing that. You don't want tricks. You don't want someone coming out of the fire at you. You don't want games. You don't want any of that. You're just focusing on yourself. You're focusing on your work and where you're going. And yeah, you'll definitely see them somewhere. You'll see them at some time. And it won't be an accident. They might make out that it's an accident, but it's not an accident. And I'm not seeing anger. I'm not seeing anything like that. You're not going to be angry with them. But this feels very, very cool, very detached. And I think that'll speak volumes. You'll be detached and you won't have to say anything. I think your detachment will say it all, really. You're just going to be, no, I'm not even going to bother saying, well, I'll say hello, but I don't really care. That's the kind of thing I'm seeing. Detachment. Okay, so the first card you have, your presence, the Five of Wands. So look at this mess. This is the mess card. Really messy. All the wands are kind of flying everywhere. No one knows what they're doing. No one's in charge. That's what this is all about. So I think you knew. I think you knew if you started up with this person again, this ex or whoever this is, things would go backwards. They might even go back into chaos. Maybe you're all kind of disorganized before because you're focusing on moving and you weren't focusing on yourself. You're focusing on this person in this relationship. And now you're focusing on yourself. Now you're getting things into order and you just don't want this. You're going to go into chaos and you don't want them anyway. So yeah, with this work thing that you're planning, it actually feels a bit competitive to me. It might be something high profile, maybe. I'm seeing that because I'm seeing a kind of a spotlight. It might be that. A lot of people want to do this. It's definitely competitive. And it might be something like acting because it feels a bit creative, but there's a lot of competition around this as well. It doesn't have to be acting. I was just seeing that might be what it is. Could be sport, something that's lots and lots of people want to do, something like competition, lots and lots of competition. I think the message here is be different, be as unique as you can. You are unique, obviously, everyone is, but don't follow other people. And being different is how you're going to stand out. That's what I'm seeing in this card. Because if you look at this card, everyone has a wand. Everyone has a wand. And they're all kind of interlinked, except this person on the left. And he's holding his wand in a different way. And it's up above the other one. So that's how you're going to be up above the other ones. That's how you're going to stand out. Go the opposite way to everyone else. Go your own way. You're in charge now. That's what I'm seeing in the Four of Pentacles. So remember that. You're in charge. Go in a different way to everyone else. And that's how you're going to stand out. Because if you look at this card again, no one stands out. Who stands out in this card? No one really, because it all looks like a big mess. It looks like a jumble. But, the person on the left's holding their wand in a different way. So you've got to be even more different than that. You've got to do something very, very unusual, very different, something that no one else is doing. That's how you're going to stand out. So that's the message in that card. So if you're up against some kind of audition or interview where there's lots of people, think about, okay, what's everyone else doing? What can I do that's completely different? Okay, so yeah, my throat's a little bit sore. Yeah, the next card you have your presence, the Page of Swords. Excuse me, I'm just swallowing, it's just my throat. So, okay, yeah, there's a message here as well, and I think it's about work as well. Yeah, there's all this competition. I keep on seeing that. I'm getting the word cutthroat. I'm getting cutthroat. That's what I'm getting when I look at this sword. Cutthroat competition. Really harsh. Excuse me, really, really harsh competition. That's how it feels. Very harsh, very competitive, very critical. Swords can be about words, very, very harsh words, nasty words even sometimes. So, if you're going to auditions or if you're going into some kind of situation with your work where you have to stand up in front of other people maybe and listen to criticism or something like that. Because that happened to me at art school. I had to stand there and be critiqued by everyone. Lots and lots of people all at once. Lots of fun. So that might be something you're doing, might be something like that. I think, you've got lots of confidence. I think you'll be okay in this. And I think you can do this. I think you can absolutely do this. There are a lot of emotional ups and downs if you do this. And also, I'm seeing money ups and downs as well here. Your money might go up and down. Fluctuating money, I'm seeing that as well. And you've got the Four of Pentacles here as well. So maybe you'll be working for a while and then it stops. You might be on a contract and then that stops or something, because that's how a lot of creative industries are. I think that's why I was getting this focus on saving money, helping you out in the leaner times, helping you out when you don't have work, because it's going to be very on and off. And, it feels like you're prepared for that. It feels like you're mentally prepared. So that's good. Yeah, I think you'll do really well, actually. You're quite resilient. Just one small thing. You might want to be a bit careful with your temper. You're going to come up against critics, people criticising you. And, you've got a bit of a temper, I know. So just watch that. Just watch that. I'm Aries, I understand that. But you've just got to get used to that. People criticising you, I think, with this job or whatever this is, it's going to be normal. And so the more you're criticised, the more you get used to it. So just something you have to watch, I think. Okay, so the last card, you have your present death. Yeah, okay, so yeah, this might sound a bit horrible, but I think you might be losing some people. Don't worry, no one's dying just because this is the death card. That's not happening, but you might have to leave some people behind if you're going into this new industry or whatever this work thing is. Yeah, I'm actually seeing literal moving around, physically moving. I'm seeing lots of traveling. Like maybe once a month here and a month here, a month there, going here for a month, going here for a day, here, there and everywhere, all that kind of thing. And that might be to do with his contract work. It's interesting because I was seeing you thinking about traveling with his axe and when you're with them, and now you'll be traveling by yourself. But yeah, very interesting. So you want to travel, but you're getting it in a different way. Sometimes when you want to manifest something, it happens, but it's in a completely different way to what you're imagining. So maybe that's what this is. But yeah, you're going to have to literally leave some people behind. And it's part of it's because of this traveling, but I think you're also just going to naturally drift away from some people as well. You might have, you might have already started to do that, I think, because yeah, I'm sensing this drift. I think it's already happened, or part of it's happened. It's very peaceful. I'm not seeing any problems. It's just drifting away. Yeah, I'm getting this beautiful image in my mind of a hot air balloon, and it's just taking off, and you're floating up into the sky, and you're just gently leaving them behind. No fights, nothing like that. No arguments. You're just drifting away. So it feels very, very natural. It feels as if you're just going on different paths, and it's been happening for a while, and you've been feeling it happening. You're thinking about this new thing. You've got this new focus, and you're just moving on. That's all it is. I think it's fine. That happens sometimes. So I wouldn't worry too much about this. Yeah, so okay, so we'll go on with your future. So the first card you have for your futures, the Five of Pentacles. So yeah, I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to talk about the Ten of Pentacles at the same time, because there's a progression obviously between the Five and the Ten of Pentacles. So again, with this Five of Pentacles, looking at these poor people on here, you're not going to be like that. You're not going to be destitute, but your income's definitely going to be fluctuating if you do this thing, if you do this work. And yeah, I think this is just reminding you to make sure you save, make sure you've got money behind you for when you're not working. Because I'm seeing times where you'll be doing really, really well, actually. Lots and lots of money is going to be coming in, lots of money all at once. And then you're going to have these times where it's the opposite. So yeah, save for those times, make sure you've got a lot behind you, don't spend it all when you get all this money coming in. There's a little bit of a warning here as well. I think someone might actually offer you some money. Someone might offer to lend you some money. Yeah, I'm seeing family. So I think this is a family member. Now, I think there are some people in your family that it'd be fine to accept money from, but not this particular person. I think this is someone who you actually shouldn't accept this money from, because yeah, they're offering to lend you money, and I think they're going to offer it to you at a tempting time, you know, when your money's a bit low. Okay, how do I say this? I think if you accept this money, and I think you know who this is if this is you, they'll probably be all in your business if you accept this money. Yeah, I think they're a bit of a busybody. I think they've got a little bit of a big nose. Or, does that make sense? A little bit of a big nose? Well, they've got a big nose. They want to know what you're doing. They're going to be in your business. And if you accept this money from them, I think they're going to think that they're able to do that. Because it's like, I've given them this money and now I can tell them what to do, or I can watch what they're doing. You know, I'm just looking at this man on this card. There's an old man in the corner, and obviously he's taken care of his family because there's this shelter here. He's provided for his family, and that's a good thing. Sorry, I'm really slurring my words. I'm getting a bit tired and I've got a sore throat, so I'll keep on going. So yeah, he's there, he's watching his family, he's provided for them. But that's what the key is. He's sitting there watching them. He's sitting there watching this family. So I think if you say yes to this money, they'll be watching you. They'll be watching you. They'll be watching what you do. They'll be advising you. They'll be telling you what to do. So say if you go into a shop or you go into a restaurant or something like that, they'll start watching you. They'll start questioning you. They'll be saying, why did you buy that? That's a bit expensive. Why did you buy that thing? I gave you this money. I didn't give it to you to go shopping. What have you done then? Why do you go there? You don't need that. You don't need that in your life. You're extremely independent. It's not worth accepting this money. That's what I'm seeing there. So for one, save up so that you don't have to do this. And you are going to have leaner times, you really are. So you've just got to be a bit careful at that time. But you're better off, you know, having to be very, very careful and not having much than accepting this money, because it comes with strings. It comes with strings. And the strings are this person knowing your business, asking you questions, probably telling other people they've lent you money. They'll probably go around and say, oh, I lent them money. Oh, I lent them money, you know, embarrassing you. So don't say yes to this. Even if times are really hard, do other things, do whatever you can, but don't accept money from this person. That's the message I'm seeing in that card. Before I go on, I just want to apologize because I am struggling a bit with my throat. It's making me a little bit tired. Hopefully this is making sense and it's not too bad for you, but I'll just go on because I'm nearly at the end of this reading now, so I hope it's okay. So yeah, the last card you have for your future is the Three of Wands. Okay, this is what I'm seeing in this card. Okay, so yeah, this is about waiting. But it's not just about waiting, it's about knowing. Because this man's on this hill. I'll lift it up so you can see. So he's up in this hill. He's looking out over this beautiful sea. It's a golden sea. He can see these 3 ships coming in. And he's saying to himself, I can see those ships coming in. They're my ships. They've got my cargo on them. They've got what I want on them. I'm going to wait for them. I know they're coming in. I'm not just hoping they're coming in. I know they're coming in. And so I'm going to wait until they come in. So I think that's what this person is doing. This is this person who has a big ego, I think. They haven't given up. They're still going to be there in your future. They're going to keep popping up in your life, I think, for a while. Probably in the first half of this year. They're going to keep on popping up, maybe until March, maybe April. I don't know. They're going to keep on being there because they think you're going to come back. They think that. They think, oh, I'm so amazing, that of course they're going to come back. But if they're waiting, I think they're going to be waiting for a long time because I don't think you're interested in them. They don't understand the concept of someone who isn't interested in them, actually. But yeah, they're not going to bother you. They're not going to stalk you or anything like that. I know the Page of Swords is here, but I don't think they're going to do that. Yeah, they'll move on eventually, but until then, they're going to keep on popping back up again because they think that, you know, you really want them, you really do. You're just being hard to get, or you're just being difficult, or you've forgotten, or there's some excuse they're making up in their heads. But yeah, you're not interested. They're going to be waiting for a long time, and I think eventually they'll go away. It will die off. They'll move on eventually. But you know, if you feel them around your energy, every time you do that, if you start thinking about them a lot more or feeling them or whatever, they'll probably pop up at around that time, if that's what you're doing, if that's how you're feeling. So just remember that if you're thinking about them, feeling them, they'll probably pop up at some time. So just a warning there.